I usually have music going or something, but I don't have my speaker in here right now. I'll burn some sage.
I can't do that in. I can actually do that on the thing.
Oh, so usually I have some kind of.
I have Bright Hawk's music.
There you go. Yeah, just put something on. I hope everybody's having a good day.
Oops. All right. No, you shouldn't be able to see my screen. I should just be able to share sound without sharing my screen. Right?
I think it's, yeah.
There's a way to do that. Eh?
Yeah.
There you go.
There is some more. There you go.
And just share screen. You got it?
Yeah, they got it.
Yeah, I did.
It says,
I don't know why it was different. I'm just trying to find the album now. Where did it go? It's usually the first thing that comes up, but not right now. iTunes.
Oh, well. No biggie. I could sing if you'd like, but you probably don't want that.
I hear it now.
There you go.
Is that Bright Hawk?
Yeah, it's Bright Hawk music.
I have to tell you, I melt when I hear this.
It's perfect.
Yeah. This is her Secret Side Project album. This is the album that I used when I was in the nursing home.
Beautiful.
And Hollis, you just tell me if you're waiting for more people or if I should start talking.
Okay, I will. I think we're doing pretty good. Oh, I forgot about that. Oops. Okay. Alright, let me double check YouTube, make sure we're live everywhere, but I think we're just about live everywhere. Yep.
Yeah, that's nice.
Happy Mother's Day, everyone.
Yes, happy Mother's Day.
we're pretty fully broadcasting everywhere, and I'm posting the link pretty fully broadcasting everywhere, and I'm posting the link pretty fully broadcasting everywhere, and I'm posting the link pretty.
I was gonna say, is it repeating for you too?
Yeah, I had to sorry about that, guys. I had to
Okay,
find
no, it's
where
okay.
I
I
was
was
muting.
thinking,
No, that was me.
okay.
Yeah, that was my fault.
Tracy, can you hear Hollis now? Okay.
All right.
Perfect.
Tracy, I wonder why. You can hear everybody else?
Can you hear me well, Tracy?
Can I talk to you?
Uh-huh.
The volume went down significantly after Hollis started repeating herself,
Huh.
so I can barely hear you guys.
Can you turn up the volume now? Can you hear me now?
Hang on. Say something, Hollis.
Is that better? Is that better? Is that better? Can you hear me now?
Not really. I'll just listen carefully. That's all.
Okay, or Tracy, you might want to leave and come back in.
I can do that?
Yeah.
You can leave
Okay,
and
I'll
come
do
back
that. Okay, thank you.
in. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Okay. So hopefully everyone can hear and see. You know, sometimes Sundays aren't the best show up day.
Oh, that's okay. Who's meant to be here is here.
I always set the intention that whoever should be here will be here.
Yeah, that's me too.
Yeah.
Whoever's supposed to be here is here.
Oh, good, Tracy. All right. So, problem solved.
Yeah,
Good.
great. That's what it was. Yep. Sometimes with computers, if it's not working and it should be working, just turn it off, turn it back on. Go out,
Yep.
come back in. That's my official advice for every computer problem.
Me too. Shut it, put it back on. There we go.
Yeah. That should work.
There
More
we
friends
go.
still coming in?
Oh yeah, you'll probably have people coming in the whole time because we're broadcasting
Okay.
this live. So I think the best thing to do is
Start?
I'm gonna go ahead and let you start and do their stuff, and I'm gonna write a little bit of like a little thing and then copy and paste it, okay?
Okay.
In
Go
the
ahead,
group in the
Stacey.
chat. So when people are coming in late, they can figure out what to do.
Okay, well, I'll start talking. Thank you so much
Okay.
for coming, everybody. Really appreciate all of you for taking this time for us. What we want to do first and foremost is create a safe space. So what I ask is to just be nice and kind and patient. Keep an open mind. Keep an open heart. Sometimes the information we bring through is a little poetic, a little cryptic. So think outside the box. Okay, it's meant for you to know, not necessarily everybody else or even us to know. So that's why just give some information thought, okay? And what happens here, Stacy, by that, we appreciate if you don't go, posting things everywhere. Let people see for themselves what actually went on here. We as mediums, we give what we get. We try to be kind. We don't interpret. No judgment anywhere. And so we do the best that we can. Nobody is perfect. And we just ask you, like I said, just be nice, kind, and open. We set the intention to do our best to bring through your loved ones, giving you information we wouldn't otherwise know, all with the intention of promoting healing and comfort and knowing that your loved ones are still with you. We ask you, if you recognize the information that we're giving, raise your hand. The best is to raise your hand on the bottom under reactions. That will move you up to the top and we'll be able to see you. If more than one person raises their hand, it is up to the medium to decide who they're with. But if you could please keep listening in case we need to make adjustments with who we're with. When we find our person we're connected to, if you could really just validate what we're saying with yes, no, maybe, I don't know. If you start talking too much, you're doing our work for us. So just yes, no, maybe is great. Now, understand also, this is a group setting. So the readings will most likely be maybe between 10, 12 minutes each, because we want to try to get to a lot of you. And the information that we get is usually geared towards the group. If you feel, you know what, that's not personal enough, it's not specific enough, keep in mind it's for a group. If you feel, you know what, that's not personal enough, it's not. Right, doesn't it go somewhere? Okay, good. Let's see what else. Also, if you recognize the information, but somebody already raised their hand, please don't be shy and raise your hand as well. Okay, it's okay. I know a lot of times people say, well, if there's just one more piece of information, or if nobody else raises their hand, everybody's an individual. If you recognize the information, I really do encourage you to put your hand up. Okay. I can't guarantee that everybody will get a reading, but between the three of us, we will try to get to as many people as we can. And as always, we also set the intention to leave everybody feeling uplifted. We all work differently, but we all try to get to the same place. And so embrace the fact that we have different personalities and that we're a little bit different. Okay, did I forget anything?
But you're all amazing though, so all three of you, thank you. I'm sorry, I had to say it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Kathleen.
Did
The
I
only thing
forget
I would
anything?
add is actually you should, like Stacey was saying, put your hand up if the evidence matches, and then let's say Tracy, Kathleen, and Georgette put their hand up, and I start reading for Tracy. Please, Kathleen and Georgette, keep your hand up, because I'll probably read for you too. I'll just do you next. Okay, so I'll focus in on each person, because clearly not every bit. You might have a couple of matching items, but you're not going to have everything matching, right? That would be weird. Okay, so instead, Tracy, I would read Tracy, and then I would focus in on Kathleen, and then I would focus in on Georgette. Okay, so don't put your hand down, because then I'm going to be like, now who was that other person? Okay, so, and I think all three of us feel that way. Like, just keep your hand up.
Yeah.
If the things were matching, just wait. If there's more than one person, just wait until we get to you. We'll move over. We'll do one person at a time.
The other thing
I've
is
also
also
found
test a taste of how we work. If you feel drawn to us, the three of us are available to book appointments with for a longer, more personal reading. So
and the links are in the chat.
Oh, well,
There you
you
go.
are.
To book a private reading are in the chat.
I was also going to say too, I've also found sometimes, like in a group setting, your loved ones will, you'll receive validations through other people's readings. Like they'll come through and also give you messages through other people's experience or readings. Like you'll have somebody that's very similar to you with experience wise and stuff, and it'll validate. So just know that they can also send messages through other people too. And I was going to say too, Hollis mentions this earlier. I close my eyes a lot when I connect, so please don't think that I'm being rude or anything. So if you notice that my eyes are closed a lot, that's because it's just easier for me to connect if my eyes are closed.
Because
So
if we're looking at the screen, we're so distracted by,
it's
I don't
too
know, all
much.
this.
Okay, Melissa, at the bottom of the screen, do you see the reactions button, the little icon? That's where. You'll click on that, and then one of the reactions will be to raise your hand. So if you want to try it now, you know, just to see, that's fine. And if anybody's having trouble, just like wave, and we'll make sure that the medium knows that, you know. There you go. Perfect.
Yeah, I was about to
We
say,
just
if you're Melissa, it looks like you're on your phone. If you're on your phone, you have to kind of tap the phone and then at the bottom choose reactions or something like that, or more.
Yeah. All right. I'll go first. Okay, because
The only thing that I like to do is I like to set intentions with my spirit guides out loud. It's
go
just
ahead.
a quick prayer that I say, and I'm sure you guys won't mind.
no, go for it.
I reach to my spirit guides in the here and now, and I ask you for your presence in this readings. Help us to connect, help us to understand the meanings more broadly, and to understand the bigger meaning of your messages. Help us to understand the other side more broadly. Thank you for helping us to bring messages through for anyone that is in need, people that need validation, closure. Please help us bring those messages through. Thank you to each and every one of my spirit guides for helping me to connect, and everyone's spirit guides for stepping forward and helping us have smooth and validating messages. Thank you.
Thank you. And my practice is I open a circle and burn sage and have a candle lit, and I've already done all that also.
I was about to say, great.
Awesome. Okay. So with that, I ask everybody, like I said, to keep an open mind, an open heart. And all right, with that, I have a woman stepping forward. She tells me she needs to tread a little bit lightly because she feels that her loved one is a little fragile. So she is showing me first a few things that you would recognize. I see a bracelet with beads, like one of the bead bracelets. You know, some of them have you know, different crystals or different beads, whatever they are, but it's a bead bracelet like that. She's showing me also a bouquet of flowers that she made out of flowers from the garden. And as she steps forward, she is dressed casually. This is her usual jeans, leggings, shirt, sneakers or comfortable shoes. She's not a woman that likes to get very dressed up. She's also bringing my attention to past Mother's Day, past holidays where it would be barbecue. Really low key, basic, nothing fancy. And this would be her joy, just to be with the family, to be playing, not spending hours in the kitchen working, or even spending hours getting herself ready. Just real casual, real nice. Whoever wants to come over can come over. And saying that her loved one has been fragile lately. So would anybody recognize any of this information so far? Okay, I'll keep going. I feel that the holidays, the birthdays, this has been each landmark is kind of like ripping the Band-Aid off again. It's been very like it brings the pain back again. And she is stepping forward to say, like, it's time to be a little bit calmer about it. And nothing, you can't change things at this point. So she's saying, please look forward and remember all the good things. All right. I feel she's bringing my attention to like a clean smell. I'm hearing linen. I don't know if it's perfume or a body wash, but she likes clean smells, not really the floral smells. Even though she's coming in with flowers, she doesn't love the really pungent smell of some of the flowers. I don't even know what they're called. Are they like the calla lilies? Are those the ones that smell a lot? But she's saying those aren't her favorite. They look beautiful, but she doesn't like the big smell. Those she might pull out of a bouquet if you gave her. Happy with the flowers that you would pick outside. Okay, does anybody recognize at least most of this? All right, I'm going to give a recap. So I have a woman stepping forward. She's dressed casually. Bead bracelet, bouquet of flowers. She is looking forward to, reminding me how she used to look forward to barbecues. Really low-key kinds of things. Happy with a homemade cake as opposed to even like the fancy store-bought ones. Everything low-key, not fancy, is her speed. And she's saying her person is here and that I should just keep talking until her person raises their hand. So I'll keep talking. Okay, she's bringing my attention to a fish tank with pet fish in it. So I'm seeing all kinds of things. I hope somebody could put this story together. Georgette, could you please tell me what you recognize?
Well, I'm not sure. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm not sure if this is who I'm thinking it is, but it could be my brother's deceased wife who she has one, her mother still, obviously it's Mother's Day. Her mother's 96, I think. And she may be coming forward through me to let her mom know something today. Because she was, well, at the end of life, she was dressing more casually because she was not well. She was in tennis shoes. I received a beaded rose bracelet from the flowers from my brother's funeral. So I'm wondering if that has something to do with the beaded bracelet in the flowers. So it could be that. It could be her coming through to tell me to give a message to her mom. But I don't know. Someone else has raised their hand, so it could be something else. She did have a lot of entertaining. She had a lot of people at her house for different occasions, so it could very well be.
And you would understand like the barbecue and homemade
Well,
cakes and like even feel like people bringing things, not
right. Barbecue could just be symbolic for people coming over because she always had gatherings at her house, and her husband, my brother, used to cook out all the time, and he would cook out fillets and whatever. But I'm wondering if if it's her. I would be surprised though, because I haven't had her come through very much. So for her to come, that's why I'm not sure if it's really her or not. If I gave you a name, does that help at all?
Well, I'm not there yet. But the thing is, what I'm hearing is that the bracelet was something she would need to be identified by.
Okay.
That's why she showed me. Usually I see the person first, but she was like, I want to show you the bracelet. I want to show you the flowers first, because my person would recognize that first. So maybe this isn't a person you would have come to the forefront of your mind unless it was the bracelet and the flowers. So with your permission, if you'll work with me, I'll just keep going.
Of course.
Okay,
of course.
Would you understand this woman was an important part of the family, help bring everybody together. And she wants to make sure that certain things she put in motion will continue that way. She doesn't want these events to stop just because she's not putting them together. She said it was nice. It was everybody putting together. Everybody had a part of it. And they were just nice, low key, no pressure. I feel like she was very big with no drama. Would you understand that?
Yes.
Okay. So she's saying she's concerned about looking towards the future and keeping these things going. So she's like, she doesn't know who needs to hear that. in order to keep it in motion. But she says that her person here today, so Georgette, you know,
Maybe.
have an idea of who to bring this message to keep it going.
And that gives me chills because because I think the person who would do that would probably be her sister who's living, and there's been lots of issues. And that may be why, yeah, that could
Because
very well be why.
you know
Mhm.
what? She's like, the drama has to stop.
Oh, well, it won't.
Then we have to pause the drama. I have that too. All right, pause the
Yeah.
drama and just, can we get past it enough to provide this for everybody in the family? Put the ego aside, put the nonsense aside. Can't we just get together? Everybody bring something. Let's be outside, in the backyard, whatever it is, in and out of the house, and just enjoy. And she's saying at some point she sees that it can happen. It just, the ego has to stop, the drama has to stop. And remember the fun time. Just everybody bring a dish and we could do this again. So, for whatever that's worth, she's hoping that this could get put back into motion.
Okay.
So, however you could do that, if you can, Georgette, I give you credit. So, thank you so
Yeah.
much for working with
Okay,
me.
thank you. Thank you so much.
Hollis or Cheryl, you want to go next?
I'd love to go. I actually came a little early by accident because I mix up my time zones all the time. And I had to step back off and I went outside and I watered my plants for a little bit. And I've had a woman who, I don't know if she's like from New York or from the Bronx or Brooklyn or something, but she was telling me about going to the beach and the Jersey Shore, which I've never been there. I love the beaches, but I don't even know what that looks like. But she would make sandwiches, pack a picnic lunch, and it was like a big ordeal. They did it every summer, and it was a huge ordeal. There was like her kids. I get extra family, cousins, nephew. Like there was a whole group of people would go to the beach. Now I may be totally off on the exact location, but I'm pretty sure it's like Jersey Shore, Connecticut, somewhere in that area. And older. This woman, I'd say this was like the 60s or 70s, because they're also showing me like the zinc. You know how they used to put the white on their noses and their cheeks? And she was very adamant about that. So I'm assuming that these people were like complected, because she also has showed me a big beach umbrella. And they didn't always have beach umbrella, but she showed me this huge beach umbrella too. And they would go on, it was a long drive for them to go there. So they may have even been more inland. Because I know my family growing up, we lived in Richmond in Virginia, and we would have to drive to Virginia Beach. It was about an hour and a half, and that's what they're showing me. It was like it was long enough that the kids got kind of antsy, but not too long to where you had to totally distract them for too long. Like they were able to be controlled in that time. Does anybody recognize this woman? Because she was adamant. She showed up before we even started the group session. Okay. Let's see if she can tell me some more, show me some more. She's heavier set. Black curly hair. This may be somebody's like grandma or auntie, like a more distant than like not your mother, not your. I'm getting she's more distant. What message do you need to give to this group? It's for a mother here. It's for somebody young here. Okay, she's telling me that this is for a young mother who's really struggling right now. You have a little toddler, about 2 or 3 years old, a little girl, curly hair, blondish curly hair. And you're just really struggling, direction. You don't know if you're a good mom or not. Of course you are. None of us, they're not born with directions. I get this is your grandma or something. You may not have, she may have passed when you were little, but she watches over you and this child, and she's very, like, she's very involved in this little child's life. And she wants you to know that you are enough, that you are doing a very good job. And I get whoever this young woman is, that your mom wasn't the best. So that's why you're questioning yourself so much. Like you're trying to do a perfect job and you're questioning yourself a lot, and you don't need to, because you're doing the right job. I don't know who this is to. Does anybody know who this is to? I mean, very drawn to Melissa. I don't know if this is somebody that you might know. I'm very drawn to you. So this could possibly be like an auntie or a grandma or somebody that might have passed when you were still little. Do you have a little girl? You can
My grandmother, who adopted me when I was a baby, passed when I was 20 years younger, and she got to meet my daughter and know her for about a year before she passed. And my daughter had long blonde curly hair.
Okay.
So yeah, it could be my I call her my mother, but yeah, it was my
yeah, because I get it's not the mom. Like there was a skip, so that would explain the skip. So just know she is still very much around. She's very involved in your daughter's life still, and she watches over you, and she wants you to stop questioning yourself so much. You're very hard on yourself, and you don't need to be. You're doing perfect. You are enough. You are very loved. Even though she's still not here, she still loves you very much, and she still is your mother, and she's still very involved. Okay. Yeah, I knew it was to somebody here, but she just went about it. But she showed up before we even started. Like I was watering with plants. She was very insistent. And I'm like, okay. I wasn't sure of the location because I don't usually get like a location or anything. So just know that she definitely worked hard to get the message to you. All right. Thank you so much, sweetheart. Hollis, you're up. I'm just glad you figured out who it was.
All right. So I'm getting the angel wings. So anyone that knows me, that usually means that I'm going to be channeling babies.
Oh,
So
beautiful.
so we're gonna. So sometimes what I do is I just check in and see how many babies are here. Okay. So I've got a pretty strong number 6. So I got 6 miscarriages, abortions, or lost babies. Are there 6 people in this group with that? You could have lost more than one. So if you have lost, if you've miscarried, if you've aborted, if you have lost a child in their first whatever, like their first, what is that? First, like before puberty. Okay, so that would be. So sometimes I get the number right, and then what happens is, or I think I get the number wrong, and then I check and like, oh, this person has 3 and this person has 2. So I have 6 angels for this group in Zoom right now. 6 angels. So this would be miscarriages of you or could possibly be your mother. So if you know about your mom's miscarriages and you know it was your sibling, because then it's going to be your angel, right? So that kind of thing. So Donna, did you miscarry? How many children did you miscarry? Just one. Okay, you're muted. And then where'd the other person go? Anu, don't do that. Put your hand back up.
Tracy.
Got it.
Who was it? Who was the other person?
Tracy.
Okay. No, it's Anu.
And Anu.
Okay, and Tracy. Tracy, you have your hand up too?
Tracy, are you trying to raise your hand or it's just clapping?
Tracy, raise your hand. And how many children did you pass? Have you lost? Can you unmute?
Two.
Yeah. Two.
Two.
Okay. Tracy, how many? Tracy, did you miscarry or something?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I had an abortion.
Okay, that's what that counts as just one, right?
Yes.
I'm also
Not
in that
too
group,
short.
but I don't want
Uh,
red. I
but
won't.
Cheryl, you have to at least
I know.
validate and say, okay,
Yes,
Hollis.
I'm validating. And just so you know, my
Okay.
mother, I'm the seventh of my mother miscarried 6 times.
Oh wow, that's also
Blessed.
weird. Okay.
Yeah, I was the seventh.
I'm just saying that I got 6 because you said you had 2 miscarriages, abortions. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, so this message is for everyone that has miscarried or aborted a baby. Okay. I just think it's weird that I have 6 miscarriages or abortions in the room, and you're also number 7 of your mother's children.
She had 6.
6 twice. Okay.
That's crazy.
So the message is simple. So when a child comes through a woman's body, a person's body, when the child comes through, you miscarried that child, okay? Or you had to abort that child, or the child passed early in their life. And the reason that that happens is because that child is that spirit, that energy is meant to move through you, and you are the person that can carry that child into their last task in life. They had to teach a lesson. And so, Donna, you're welcome to share it, or Anu, or anyone else that miscarried. You don't have to share your message, but you learned some sort of message when you miscarried, lost your child. Okay, I'm just going to say lost. You know, it means all 3 of those things. Okay, when you lost your child, you learned something big. And when you did that, you helped them accomplish their sole purpose. And then therefore, that spirit was able to become an angel. You see, that's why all children become angels, because they pass in innocence, number 1. Number 2, their vibration is raised because now they've lived their one last lifetime, and that last lifetime was with you. And that last thing, that last message that they had, they taught you and the people around you and the person that gave the abortion and your spouse that held your hand, or your mother who stood at your side, or whatever. Okay, it was not, abortion is never wrong. Okay, just gonna say that abortion is not wrong. It is meant to be. The mother the spirit knows you're going to abort that child before you do, and that is meant to happen. Okay, you are meant to miscarry that child so that that spirit could become an angel, could become an enlightened being, could become an angel among us. And doesn't mean they won't be back here on earth, because they absolutely will be. Sometimes they choose to be on the other side. The other part of the messages you need to know is that they are not only with your loved ones, but they're also with you. They often interfere. This is the moments when we're almost in a car accident and we say, thank my angels, I didn't get in a car accident, or I went home a different way. When you say that, it's real. Those are really your angels. So if you ever wondered or ever felt like there was an essence around you protecting you, or you wondered what happened to your children, or why it happened to you, or whatever, hopefully I've answered that question. If anyone wants to share their message that they learned when they lost their child, you can. You also can just put your hand down and accept the message I gave you and be done with it. Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome, Donna. Sometimes spirit just says, okay, Hollis, you got to do this thing. You got to bring this
Thank you,
message
Hollis.
through. I don't
Yeah,
know why, but sometimes I just have to say it and people have to hear it. for whatever reasons. Okay, just is.
Thank
We
you,
need him.
Hollis. I
You're
just
welcome,
want to
Tracy.
say I appreciate that because I know I did the right thing. I'm not exactly sure what the message is. Maybe someday after hearing you share what you just shared, I may know that. So I really, truly appreciate you sharing that because my situation, I won't go into detail, but it was definitely had to happen.
Yeah, and you know what? Frankly, sometimes when we have abortion, the lesson is something as simple as maybe your next child, when you were able to be a mother, or a grandmother or whatever has happened, love was deeper for you. For you, you know, like it can be as simple as that, that the next child was super deeper, that you learned that unconditional love existed, that you learned it's a really powerful, and you might dismiss it as something small, but it's actually a really big lesson in life. And sometimes it just takes you a little time to reflect on that moment. Melissa, did you have something you want to share?
Yeah, I've had multiple miscarriages. My husband and I had many. But I always question stuff, but I can say my children's weird ages. My oldest one is 26, then I have a 19-year-old and I have a 7-year-old. My 7-year-old is my rainbow baby that was born on Halloween. So
Oh,
that's
Mm-hmm.
his rainbow pumpkin. And although we like to joke as the oops baby, he has taught me so much, so much. So I know there was a reason. So thank you.
Yeah, yeah. You're welcome. I'm glad because it seems to be really important ever since the insanity in the United States with abortion.
oh.
My guides are like, you must you must bring this message. Sometimes I'm like, okay, and then I have to figure it, and then I do the numbers thing, and it's usually pretty accurate.
That's
Thank you,
So,
cool.
Hollis.
Anu, did
Thank you
you
so
want to
much.
say something?
Yeah,
You're
thank you,
welcome,
Hollis.
Anu.
Thank you so much. I think it was the message that I needed to hear, because there was a kind of guilt, and for years that has been going through. And I think, this message really helped. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. It's a funny thing how sometimes women will hold on to guilt or feeling like they're not enough when they miscarry or something. Feeling like there's something wrong with them or something. Um, and then of course then there's abortion, and that has its, and then our doesn't help that our culture judges it, right? So
Yeah.
and there can be a million reasons for that. And so I'm just glad that I could bring it through. I'm just gonna say I have another young child that's coming through, and I'm pretty sure they're like, they're the age that they passed might have been just around puberty-ish, ish. Like, but it feels like young puberty, like 12, 13. If that person here has lost their child, I don't feel like I'm a little worried that they're not in this space. So I'm a little worried that they're in one of the broadcasts looking at us live. So anyway, but I'm just gonna say this child is probably somewhere in young youth, could be teenage years. They had a health problem. So it's not like they took their own life or anything. They had some sort of long ongoing problem. I don't know necessarily that it's your child, by the way. It could be like a skip like Cheryl's was, where it's like, your niece or your nephew or something. This young kid is also it feels like they were actually quite normal until they got sick. So it almost feels like something all over the body too. Could be like leukemia or something.
Mm.
Something all over the body. So that's usually like something like, it could be anything, but I'm just guessing leukemia.
I think it's somebody in the broadcast.
Yeah, that's what he's saying, but I think they're trying to get in here. So we're just
Yeah.
gonna pause and let somebody else go and see if maybe, if I feel it feels like a boy. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna see and wait and see if he comes up. Because if there's nobody in this chat right now that knows a child that passed. Becky, are you raising your hand?
Yes.
Okay. Thanks. Becky, is this your child?
I don't know yet.
I'm sorry, say it
I'm
again.
not sure yet. I'm not sure yet.
Okay, but you know a child that passed in the young teenage years, some sort of
Teenagers.
yeah, teenage years.
Yeah.
And they got sick. It's not like they took their life or anything.
No,
Okay.
he didn't get sick. It was
It was
he didn't
what?
take his life.
Okay. Did he have a disease or something? It must have been an accident or a murder or something then. Okay. Is it an accident? Becky, is this some sort of accident? Some sort of think something went wrong. That's what when I feel into you, Becky, that's what I get is I get something went wrong. Something went horribly wrong. It almost feels like someone is at fault in a way. Is there someone at fault? Yeah.
No, sweetheart.
And he was a good kid. Like he feels like really full of life and full of potential and promise. And I'm trying to he is avoiding whatever went wrong. Okay. I don't think he wants to talk about it, or he doesn't want me to say it in here right now. Maybe it might because it upsets you.
This is every day, so this is life now.
I understand. For sure, Becky. I totally get that that's your life now. It feels like someone did something wrong.
Yep.
He's showing me him running in a park, like running in a really fast way. Like, he must have, I'm trying to figure out what he's trying to say. Is he just trying to say that he was rambunctious and that he was kind of high energy? Or is he trying to say that this is something that happened? And so just hold on a second. Yeah, it feels more like he's just high energy. Okay. He's saying, especially when he was younger, he was even more high energy. And he's calling himself a handful. So like he was a
he
handful.
wasn't. He's a good boy.
He was a good boy, but he wasn't hyperactive. Okay. I don't know.
He played sports all the time.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's what he's trying to, because he's kind of running around. I'm not a very sports person, so
Hollis, Lisa has her hand up as well.
okay.
Just put it down.
Okay. I don't know why, but Becky. Becky, I'm pretty sure that your child is with you. And the thing is that he's also a very social young man, and he is, I think he's bringing other kids in.
Probably that would happen.
Yeah, because he's very social young man, very much likes to socialize, but he does want you to know that he's with you and he loves you, and that he's also saying that you are the best mom in the world. So he doesn't think there's anything that you did wrong in this.
No,
because he's saying there's zero guilt on you, zero fault for you, and someone else did something very, very wrong. Okay. And that person's karmic debt will be forever. Okay. No, it will be forever, and I can explain that to you sometime, but it's the soul split when you have anything to do with taking someone's life, and there's some pretty intense things that happen. Lisa, have you lost a child That's what's happening. You see what I'm saying, Becky? Your son is
He's
bringing
bringing
through
people
other
in.
children. Go ahead, Lisa. Lisa, can you
Unmute.
unmute yourself, sweetie? I knew
Yes, I'm
Lisa's.
unmuted.
Okay, there we go. Lisa, you have a young person that passed?
Is it a certain age range? Because my son was 18, so I'm not sure
Teenage
how young
years?
of a child, but he was 18.
Okay, let me just tap in, Lisa, because I already knew I had to do a reading for you anyway, Lisa, when you came in, so it's all good. So here we are. Sometimes I don't have to point you out. Y'all just come in and I'm like, okay.
Mhm.
His passing also has some not so great energy around it.
Mhm.
What I would call lower vibrating energy, but I don't feel like someone took his life. But I do feel like he was involved in some things that weren't. Was he on drugs or something? Did he overdose, or do you know?
No.
No. No. Okay. Because it definitely feels it just feels low. Okay. I'm not gonna worry about how he passed. Sometimes if I reach for one thing too much, I mess it up. So let's just not reach for the one thing. What do you want to say? Okay. Was he was he was he kind of like he's kind of saying, "Can you hear me?" like that to me. And he is like almost like when he was here alive, he wouldn't have believed this. Like he was a little skeptical. Is that true? Was he kind of like not a real spiritual kid?
Yeah, he was that was him. He didn't really believe that it was like he didn't really believe in anything. Like I don't know even how to explain it, but
Like
that's
yeah,
him.
like yeah.
But when you were talking about the social part, like he was very social, like really social. He always talked to people, like he always was strangers. It didn't matter who he was. That was his, charisma. He just had a lot of it.
Yeah. And so the beautiful thing is that so he was sort of hanging out with Becky's son, you see, because it's another young spirit, right? Another teenage young person. And so he's coming through with him. You see how that's
Mhm.
working? It happens a
Mhm.
lot. It happens a lot, okay? Spirits come through on a similar when they have a similar energy. It's very often. I think we call it piggybacking.
My son's 19.
Your son's 19. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, so yeah.
they're the same age.
Okay. Did someone take his life, Lisa?
Yes.
That's also what
Yes.
they have in common, Becky. So that's also what they have in common. So,
Yeah.
because he's like, yeah, we're piggybacking for a reason. That's what he's telling me. He's like, we're together for a reason. Like, we have a lot in common. And that's pretty unusual to have two murders in the thing in a small group, frankly.
Like everything else resonated. Like I said, like he was like a rambunctious. He was always a good kid, but he was a busybody. He was a handful. Exactly how you said it.
Oh my gosh, this is like what Cheryl described at the beginning.
Yeah,
When it comes
exactly. They,
to
just so you know, when I say stuff like that, honestly, the spirits sometimes will actually validate. That's so common for me to actually like, oh, okay, well, let's show them. Yeah,
Yeah.
these
right.
boys are very sweet. Like they're very I used to work with troubled teens in foster care, and I would work with them straight out of juvie. And that these two guys are very, very, very sweet boys. But yeah, they just kind of made some bad choices. Just got in the wrong crown, you know. Very sweet, beautiful
Yeah, at
voice.
least Lisa, he's worried about your stress level. Okay. He's worried that you are spending a lot of time in grief, and you could be missing some other stuff happening around you. He recognizes that you miss him and that you love him, but he also worries about your stress. So he also just wants you to be comforted and wants you to feel like he's with you. And I know that I can't imagine how hard it could be to move through losing a child as a mother myself. Uh and then he's also saying that you have other children present that you have responsibilities for, and it's kind of a lot. And he just wants you to know that he's like with you, and there are signs that you get. There's certain signs that you get. Sometimes you even hear him in like the back of your mind or something. And there's
Mhm.
also signs that you get, and he's trying to validate you. He wants you to know, like, to believe, because he said, he's essentially saying that he came by his skepticism honestly. Um, in other words, he learned it from you to some degree. So he's saying that you have to believe in yourself and believe those signs are real. So you know, that you are getting signs and this is happening, and that he is communicating with you, and it is not, you're not making it up.
Okay.
Okay, he does love you, and yeah, I just had a feeling that I was going to end up with you, Lisa. I don't know why, but your son's impression is also pretty deep on my soul, because I feel like he has several lifetimes ago or something, like he has some pretty strong ancestral connection. And sometimes when I feel the indigenous ancestral connection, so when I say
Mhm.
indigenous, I mean to our original lands. I think I've talked to Jackie Nixon about this before, but that it's like they're connected to like some sort of ancient ancestral thing, probably maybe in Africa somewhere, and it almost feels do you know what part of Africa your ancestors are from?
No, I'm not sure.
Okay. I'm just gonna let you know it might be West Africa. Okay. Because of some of the patterns and stuff I'm seeing is West African, and it's very ancestral, it's very deep, and he's with some ancestors that are incredibly deep. Okay. And so don't be afraid to like reclaim your culture. There's being a big call in the spirit world for people to reclaim their indigenous culture. Okay. And
Okay.
he's saying you might find some healing in your grief if you were able to do what your ancestors did with grief. Do you know what your ancestors did with grief?
No.
So
And I
in West Africa, they usually drum. They have a djembe. Djembe is called. It's like a big drum goes in between the legs, and it's
Mhm.
usually made with goat. It's usually made with goat skin, and they usually drum. And a lot of times the women, the mothers, uh, the usually traditionally the men would drum and the women would dance, and they would dance really wildly, really in with bare feet in the soil around the
Mhm.
fire. And when they did that, they would channel the ancestors and the spirits through their body, and this would help them connect to the other side, and they would be able to hear and feel their loved ones that have passed on and be able to channel them. And they would sometimes kind of get a little what we would today judge and call possession, but they would just kind of get possessed, and they would start speaking, and they would come through and say everything that that person needed to say. And then they would usually fall to the ground, and the medicine people would come up and help them, and that was the end of that. And a lot of things that they would say were major messages and very important. So, and this would help the people in the community, in the tribe, heal,
Right.
because it's just like what we're doing here. It's just a little bit more raw and less, because I can have people possess me, but I don't allow it unless I'm in the right situation. Okay. And this is an appropriate situation on Zoom. Okay. Okay. But I've practiced with West African spiritualists, mediums, and I assure you that's what happens. Okay. Lisa, you can look at Afro-Caribbean traditions. They might be helpful for you. There's books out there
Okay.
about African. There's books out there that will tell you exactly what I just said. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome, Lisa. All right. So anyone can, I don't care who goes next, but now
Such
I'm
good
going to ground
messages
for a
of
second.
healing, Hollis. Such good messages. I think
Thank you.
we all got something out of that.
Yes.
Yeah, awesome.
Thank you.
Okay,
I got a little late start here today, but I wanted to come on and say hi.
Hi, Karen.
Hi guys. Is it okay if I share something with the group?
Of course. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if anybody knows my story, but maybe this will help some of the women here that have lost children. I had 12 miscarriages before I had my son. He was lucky number 13. I lived in a house in California that had chemical waste dumped illegally, and then they built houses over it. And I had all these miscarriages in that house. There were 3 cleft palate babies on our street. One guy, it just goes on and on and on and on and on. But it was such a horrific time in my life that I put it in a little box and I put it away. I didn't want to deal with it. And the last, I am a medium, for those people who don't know who I am. And every time I go to do a reading, my mom goes, "We need to talk." And I know what she wants to talk about. And then right before a reading the other day, she went, "Your sister's here." And my mother had a stillborn. And at least I thought she was still. And she actually was alive for about an hour. My mother never told me that. But she told me that in spirit. When I see children, like Hollis said, she sees like angel wings, symbolizing a child that never lived, I see balls of energy. I see them as little glowing balls. And about 3 or 4 months ago, my mother came through and I saw 12 of these little balls around her. And she said, "We really need to talk about this." So when she blurted out, "Your sister's here," right before I go into a reading, I'm like, "Mom, please don't do that," So I got through the reading and stuff, and I was at the dentist and I was driving home, and here she is again. And so I said, "Okay, let's talk." And she told me about my sister Katie and what she would have looked like had she lived. And it's funny because she looks just like my dad. She doesn't look like me at all. And I always kind of pictured her in my mind looking like me, like being my twin, but maybe different hair color. So I see this girl that had my lips, but my father's face. And I was just like, wow. And then my mother said, "Let's talk about the babies." And she says, "You have 9 children in spirit and you have 3 on the earth." And she said, "One of them is 40 years old." And I went, "Wait, that doesn't add up. That means that I would have been in my mid-20s at least, for this woman to be in her 40s. That was not a time that I was trying to have a child. But as I remembered back, I remember being very late and just assuming, oh, well, I was just late. And I never really thought much about it. So I had that child, 11 others, and then I had my son. And she said, one of my children is living on this continent. She wouldn't tell me if it was Canada, Mexico, or the United States. She just said, she just kind of went like that. And I knew what she meant. And she said, it's a girl. And she's about 40 years old. And I saw her hair, but she won't show me her face. I don't understand why. I was hoping maybe somebody had a little insight into why that is. But she showed me the other two children. One of them is in Norway, and it's a boy, and he's about 24, 25. It seems very successful. He was like in a college sweater with his, like his soror, how they have like sweaters for sororities and fraternities. It looked like a fraternity sweater. So I said, okay, he went to college. He's doing okay for himself. They showed me the other child is in Peru, and she looks very Peruvian. I saw her, and she looked like a Mayan, or how the Peruvians look a little like the Aztecs and the Mayan type features, and just gorgeous. All three of them, I was just like so blown away. But and then there are still 9 in the spirit world. I have 5 girls and 4 boys, and they are a part of my life. And she says, they're waiting for you. And so I just wanted to share that with everybody that has lost a child and never had the opportunity to even have this child look at them or speak to them, and it touched me. Hollis was talking about different ones, and I felt like she was talking about one of my children on the earth again. And I think it's the one that's on this continent, the oldest. So I don't know quite how to handle it, but even us mediums can get thrown. And I wanted to share that with you, that we still learn, we're still growing. I certainly have my blocks like everybody else does. And it's hard when it's your own child. But there is light at the tunnel. They will be there for you when you return to the spirit world. So that's all I wanted to say. You're welcome.
Karen, thanks for coming on and sharing with us. Does somebody else want to
I'll go.
channel
Thanks
spirit?
for sharing.
Go ahead, Stacey.
All right. First of all, Kathleen, if I could come directly to you for a moment, because I really feel like the woman that I brought in for Georgette does have some similarities to your mom. Full disclosure, I have worked with Kathleen before. Mom is saying that she needs you to use this time to go forward, create the bond that you had with her. She wants you, instead of mourning that so hard, acknowledge it, but move forward and create that bond with your children. So she's saying, take it, learn for it, and recreate it going forward.
Okay.
And with that, she's like, all right. She wants me to she's like, I'm forgetting my manners here. She wants me to validate that she also liked to dress casually. I see her in like sweatpants and t-shirts.
T-shirts.
Okay.
T-shirts.
I see her, there were times she would put a hat on instead of doing her hair. It was just part of her. Very casual, very easygoing, and no false pretenses. Just basic where she is. And she's like, I waited my turn. Please give her my message. And she feels that you did well today. She's like, she's with you and you're holding yourself together, and use this. She created something with you. Use that to go forward. Okay, so I'm going to leave that.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yep, I know it. I'm trying, and thank gosh I have a daughter to, do that with, and another child, my son. And thank you. I appreciate it. Tell her I love her and thank you.
He's like, you got this. she created a very strong girl who can do this.
Yeah.
And all right, she's like, she's gonna wake me up tonight unless I say she loves you and happy Mother's Day.
Oh, happy Mother's Day. Yeah, it's hard the first one without her, so tried my best. Yes. Thank you.
That's all you could do. So
Exactly.
awesome.
Thank you so much, Stacey. Thank you.
Welcome. Okay, now with that, what's very interesting is I have another woman here who's a little bit opposite, because as I hear her coming to me, I hear like the her heels, little heels, but I hear her heels on the floor, no sneakers for her. And as she comes near me, she's dressed really well, very put together, very in command of the situation, and not as patient to be waiting, because I do feel like she would be tapping her foot, like trying to get my attention, like, I'm here, I'm waiting, come talk to me now. And she's saying that, well, all right, I feel like she would be a little judgmental that I have my hair in a ponytail and with the purple and, you know, just a t-shirt on. She's like, you have to present yourself in a certain way. So I know that looks was very important to this woman as she's coming forward. And I feel that she has a strong foundation of religion, of tradition, of being proper. Would anybody understand this woman so far? A woman dressed well, formal, could be a little impatient, knowing it's her time to come forward, and she wants the attention of that. I feel that faith would be important to her. I don't feel like it's a religion that I'm familiar with, so I'll put that out there. But I feel like her faith was very strong, tradition very strong with her, and she lived it, she taught it to her family, she lived by example. And she said that she probably would not have gone for this whole mediumship while she was here. But now that she's passed, then this is the way to communicate. I feel like she's willing to make allowances. So I have a woman who's very strong in her faith, in her tradition, willing to make some allowances to come connect to her family now. Does anybody understand any of this? All right, I'll keep going until somebody recognizes her. As opposed to the barbecue, I feel like she would want more of.
Sherry has her hand raised, Stacey.
Hi, Sherry.
Not the I mean, pseudo-religious, like, it's hard to explain, like for show, but not for real. Does that make sense?
Well, she said, like, I got the feeling, like, when I say, what religion is it? How is it? She goes, yeah, well, you wouldn't really recognize it. So I feel like it's not my religion. I feel like there's something there. Where are you? So, if that makes sense. Georgette, what do you recognize?
Well, I just going back to the same person, because I had said, well, I said that later in life she was in sneakers because of her illness, because she had cancer. But she was a top dresser. Her hair was always perfect. And she was actually she owned a funeral home. So when we talk about a religion, it's to me that could be like something you wouldn't understand, because for her it was like she was in charge of funerals. So that and you're always bringing in the funeral services and that kind of thing. So there's no real religion there's like different denominations. But she was that traditional person. And anyway, that's all I have to say.
Okay, if you could both keep listening, and I'll give a little bit more information, and let's see if we can figure this out. So how before
Stacey, I also want to point out that Bhupinder Mundi has unmuted herself. Does this stuff match you? Do you have a mother that's passed?
No,
A
I think
mother,
by mistake.
grandmother?
No,
Okay.
I think by mistake.
Okay. Thanks, Hollis. It helps when you have more than one person watching. All right, so I'll continue. Like before, where I was talking about the barbecue, I feel like she would want more than that. I feel like it would be more of a formal setup. She's not big with the paper plates and the plastic silverware. She expects more than that. Georgette, yes? Sherry?
Definitely.
Okay,
Definitely.
because well, all right, here we go. I have a feeling, they might both be here. So let's see how this goes.
She was always dressed up, always heels, like you hardly ever saw her in casual clothing.
Interesting. Okay, let's see. All right, and would you understand? I don't want this to have a negative connotation,
it
but I
will.
feel like a little judgmental.
Extremely.
Okay. Because the way I feel like she's a little bit critical, the way she's looking at me, she's like, that's how you show up? And I'm like, well, I don't know. Yes, this is my usual. And she's like, all right, we can't all be looking beautiful and glamorous all the time. This is my usual. All right, so let's see what else. I feel like even her house would be like next level from mine. When my house is comfortable to sit in all the rooms, I feel like her house would be, don't touch, don't make a mess, and things need to be where they are. I feel like more museum-like than just live and make a mess all over.
We literally called it a museum, so yeah.
Okay, both of you. Okay, then you know what? Same kind of thing. It's interesting how they're
Pairing up.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right.
It surprised her that her, grandchildren wouldn't understand that, not to touch anything. Like she would not prepare to have little kids over. It would like there'd be fragile stuff like on coffee tables and like every surface of
And with that, as you say it though, I feel like she expected other adults to watch the children. I need you to watch your children in my house, that they don't touch, that they don't break anything. Exactly. All right, so Georgette, if you could hold on a moment. Sherry, all right, if I could work with you for a moment and then I'll go back. All right, so she really, she put things on people. Like, I need you to watch your children or I'm going to blame you if something breaks. Like it was like an unfair kind of responsibility. They're kids and I want them to be able to play, but there's like nothing for them to do here. And even the couple of toys I bought, you're making me feel uncomfortable and like it's an inconvenience.
Right. Like my nephew literally spilled water on the floor and she got upset at water. I mean, that doesn't stain anything.
Yeah. She's a little bit hard.
Extremely.
A little bit hard to break through. I feel like it's hard to get a positive reaction from her. True. Okay.
Yes.
She's a tough one.
Oh yeah. Putting it nicely.
Yeah. She at some point now had to learn how to let go and that things aren't in control now that she's not here anymore. And so her message to you right now is you're not like her. First of all, she's making it very clear. She's making it very clear you're not like her at all.
No.
And you're able to take that breath and release control in a way that she couldn't. I feel like it had a lot of this had to do with control because earlier on in her life, she didn't have that control. Things weren't the way she wanted. And it was how it kind of, evolved. So I feel like she's trying to reason it out right now. doesn't matter, a little bit too, like too little too late kind of thing, but she is acknowledging that she knows she was hard. She
Right.
knows that you're different. She knows that you're soft. She's saying that you're a very soft landing space. She knows that others can come to you and you'll be there in a way that she wasn't, and she's commending you for that. And I want to encourage you to keep being that landing space, a safe space for people to come to talk to relate to. And I feel like a big part of this is your honesty and your openness. You have a lot of story that I feel like if we, not everybody here knows your whole entire story. I feel like you have so much. And you will be an open book to those who come to you asking the right questions with the right intention. And so she's acknowledging that you are more evolved than she ever was. So where are you? People keep moving around. Is she still here?
Did she go? No, she's not. Yeah, no.
Okay, well, you know
That's
what?
unusual for her. I know her, and that's
She must.
unusual.
It must
She
have been
lost
maybe
her
a
connection.
battery or something.
Yeah,
'Cause I know she's.
or she lost her connection or something.
Yeah, something.
She comes
All
to my
right.
learning circles and stuff all the time.
Yeah, she's wonderful. All right, so Georgette. Oh,
There
there
she-
she
There she is. She's back.
Oh, go ahead. Hello.
Sherry, you're muted.
She has to get up and walk over.
What a
and take
pain.
something.
Froze and I got kicked out. I don't know what happened.
That's okay.
It's all fine. It's all fine. Okay, so basically, Sherry, the main message I'm getting is you're more evolved than she ever was. And just continue being that soft space that you are. And the right people will be drawn to you and will learn from you. I feel like you're a good support for those around you.
Thank you. I just don't know where my support is right now, but I think my husband probably froze and kicked me out. I don't know. To
Maybe.
keep her from coming through.
Maybe, but you know what, Sherry? What I'm hearing is to start with, we're your support. The group all here. We're all here to support you and just we want to be a safe space for you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So, I feel like anybody here would be here for you when if you need somebody to talk to. I know it's not the same as excuse me, necessarily having your family and your friends right near you physically, but that's the best we could do right now. So just know that we're here for you.
I'll just say about my mom that I have two sisters and none of us ended up going to her funeral because none of us were speaking to her when she passed. That's how horrible she was.
Okay.
So,
I just had a glimpse of it. So, yeah. But know that we're here to support you, Sherry.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And Sherry, the thing is that what I always tell you is that once they get to the other side, they're no longer toxic.
I know.
They were, yeah, they just try to use, they'll describe their toxic behavior so that you recognize her with Stacy.
Right. Sadly,
but now she's I know but now she's what she's a big spirit on the other side, and that's probably why she's like honoring you for stepping up and being better, because at least you cleared some of that generational trauma. So as a mother yourself, give yourself
right, to acknowledge that you're more evolved than her. That's
huge.
And that's the way I heard it.
Yeah, my son writes me letters for Mother's Day on my birthday, and he said, "You're an amazing mom, especially since you had no example." So,
yeah, exactly. So I totally get it, Sherry, because I've done the same thing. Like overcame
I
toxic
can relate.
although,
I think a lot of us can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that
you're not the only one. Yeah, but look, you got a whole bunch of people sitting here going, "Hey, we love you, Sherry," and we chat sometimes. We're friends, so Okay, so you have lots of friends, and just because you haven't given them a physical hug doesn't mean they're not real. Because if that was true, I would have no friends.
True.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay, Shay.
Awesome. Okay, Georgette, let's come back to you. Okay, let's see.
Do you think it's two different people coming forward?
I don't know. You'll tell me.
Oh, okay.
All right. So, you mean your person and Sherry's person? Yes.
Okay.
I do. That's why at some point I felt like, you know what, I have to pay attention to her because we're off track with you. Yes. Okay, would you understand having some jewelry from this woman or something from her? Even if it's I want to say like a serving plate or a cooking thing, but I see there's something that you have from her.
I have lots of things from her, yes.
Okay. So she does come to mind sometimes. And even though she was difficult, like, I don't know if this is just a wishful thinking, but she says there are times where you think of her in a softer way.
See, I never thought of her as difficult. So that's where I started feeling there was a difference. Something was going on because for me, she was not difficult.
Okay, because I did not feel this with Sherry, but I feel like with you, you think of her like in a softer way.
Yes.
Like that's the word I'm hearing though, soft.
Yes.
Like I'm not here, I don't want to make it up because I was almost going to say kind or in a nice way, but I'm hearing in a soft way. I feel like that's significant. And if you think about it, it'll make more sense even later that you think of her in a soft way. And you realize that when you touch some of her things and you think of her, like you bring her close and you like feel the energy that's still in there, that she touched it and now you're touching it. And there's still a piece of her that's connected to it in a good way.
Right. Well, always. So I'm still not sure if that's her. She never was a mom. She wanted to be a mom, but she never had children.
Did I say it was I don't think I said it was
No, but that's why I'm thinking for Mother's Day, because it's Mother's Day.
Right, but it's still
moms come in all shapes and sizes.
Right, that's true.
And I bring part of my thing is I set an intention, whoever should be here will be here, that I should bring through information that you'll recognize, and the people that we need to hear from should be the ones that come through.
I was thinking she was, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. I feel like she was mostly, for most of her life, really capable and able to take care of herself and strong. And I feel like it was like an illness at the end that was kind of quick. You would understand that?
Yes.
Okay. And I feel like the final thing was like, I'm feeling it in my chest right here.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Right. She's like, we don't even have to talk about that. That's not.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. She's like, not the time and place. I feel like she would be more proper than that.
Mm-hmm.
There are certain things you say, certain things you don't. Some you can reveal, some remain hidden, and you would understand all of this. She is saying thank you, and you know what for. And I'm going to leave you with that. She's like, that's what I came here to say.
Yeah. Okay. That's great. Thank you.
Thank you for your patience, Georgette.
Thank you. No, thank you. I really appreciate it.
Okay. Cheryl, you ready to go next?
Yeah, and I'm actually just calling somebody out because Jackie, there ain't I can't. We have a gentleman coming through. Are you Maori?
No, I'm Plains Cree Indian from Canada.
Okay.
I knew somebody was gonna call me up.
Yeah. Okay. I wasn't sure what it was, but I'm actually seeing It's funny because I only know Maori as far as your facial tattoos, and I'm being shown the ceremony that was performed when you had those done. And I'm being told for you to remember your roots. And I'm also Native American, but I'm of from Mexico, like Native American Mexico, California border. But I'm just being told for you to remember your roots. You have a lot of, I'd say, uncles, men. Men are elders watching over you. Um, Also, I was getting more like Pacific Island, but I'm also seeing like leaves, like part of the ceremony. I don't know if they burn leaves, if they shake the leaves around you or whatever. Um, but I'm seeing I use leaves like what they're showing me is very similar to what I use to like break up negative energy around you, like before you do a healing session or something, like to shake it up a little bit. So
Smudging.
there you go. Yeah, very
Mhm.
similar to well, it's like a little bit beyond smudging. It's like you take the smoke from the smudge and you shake it. Look, this right here with a bunch of
Oh
leaves, and
yeah.
you shake.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I'm getting. I'm seeing like an actual ceremony being performed on you with the smoke and them doing this, and it's elderly men.
Mhm.
So perhaps to help you with your grief, go back to what you know. Okay.
Okay. So who is it that's telling you this?
I'm getting uncles. I'm getting your
Oh.
elders. Your elders.
Oh.
There's uncle three. There's three of them. Very specific. Very, very, very prominent. But they're saying that just that they know that you're having a very difficult time, and to go back to your roots and to what you know. And that's where the comfort, the rituals, because in order for you, like they keep showing me your facial tattoo, and they're just the meditation, the state that you were in when you did that, that's where you are going to find a lot of comfort. How you did that and how you zoned in and stuff. When you're so overwhelmed with the grief and stuff, you can go back to that. I think that's their biggest lesson for you right now is to they know that you're able to meditate deeply and have a connection. So rely on that connection right now, and that'll help you through this walk. They're showing me like this journey that you're going through because they know it's very difficult.
Mhm.
Okay, but you do definitely have ancestors and elders around you. Try to see what else they want to. And just that'll help you on this journey. They keep showing me a journey. Like they know that you never chose this and you never would have expected this,
Mhm.
but it's a part of your path. Like you'll be able to help others through this. So,
Okay, yeah, that makes sense to me.
yeah, you'll be able to help others through. And they keep saying it as a journey. Like, I don't know. Do you guys have, I keep being told like a spirit walk? Do you do, like, the Navajos, we used to do like sweat lodge, like where you go in with the medicine man into the smoke and stuff, and you have like a ceremony, like a meditation and stuff like that. That's what they're kind of showing me that you,
I do go to sweat lodges on a
it's
regular
time. Have you
basis.
done that recently? Have you been doing that?
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, good, good. Then that's them acknowledging it. Then that's what that is.
Okay.
So they're with you or they're acknowledging you. So keep it up. Definitely keep that up. Beautiful.
Okay, thank you.
She needs to know. And pay attention to the birds. Do they send you hawks?
Mhm. Okay.
Yeah, they send you hawks. I'm being told to pay attention to the birds. You have a red-tailed hawk or something, they send you guardians.
Mm.
And that's it. Thank you so much, honey.
Thank you.
They just called you right out. Like, thank you.
Is it possible for me to do a reading?
Go for it, Karen.
I keep feeling someone who's lost a male child, young adult. He he keeps saying, Mom, I was not killed. I did this to myself. I have no one to blame but myself. I don't know if this was an overdose, but he feels responsible for his of losing his life. Does anybody resonate with that? It could be accidental overdose, an accident that he did. Like he did something, he thought it was going to be fun, but he wound up getting hurt doing it. He's probably in his late teens, early 20s. He's medium skin tone, could possibly have a little mix of Spanish, but mostly what you would consider white. He's thin, not necessarily underweight, but just lean muscle. And he's got it. When I said that, he went like, yeah, right. Like welcome to the gun show. He's he has a good sense of humor. But he keeps telling me my mom's mad at me. And she doesn't want to talk about it, but I know my mom is upset with me. And he kind of like blames himself, and he feels like he's really let you down. And he says, he's telling me that you went through a phase where you were just really, really angry all the time. And he says now she's starting to get past that, but she feels like there's nothing to hold on to. It's like she's all by herself because the son meant so much to her. Does anybody resonate with this? No. Let me see if I can get anything else from him. He is saying grandma won't leave him alone. He says, really, Mom, she's always around me. She's always like, you okay? You okay? You okay? And he says, you don't have anything to worry about, Mom, because I'm being well looked after. And he's kind of laughing because he says, look at her. And she's like clinging to his arm, like, this is my baby. And she's very protective. Could be somebody that your family or is going through, but they're still connected to you. So if he sounds like someone your family might know. No. Okay. Well, sorry?
There's a bunch of people on the broadcast and stuff. There might be somebody somewhere else.
Okay.
It's just,
yeah, for some reason I don't have access to anybody typing in, but if you are and you relate to this young man, just know that he said, I want my mom to know no one forced me to do this. Wasn't that sort of a thing. I was just stupid. And he used those words. I was stupid. He said, I trusted the wrong people, Mom. I'm kind of feeling that this might be fentanyl related. Like he didn't think there was fentanyl, and there was. He's kind of giving me a nod, like, yeah. But he wants you to know that he's not alone, and he loves you, and he's around. So, if somebody in the audience that's not here with us feels this, you can always text me, and I can tell you what else he has to say. Okay, that's it for me, guys.
thank you.
Okay. Are you done, Cheryl? Right now? Do you want to go?
Do
Cheryl?
I?
You okay?
Yeah.
Are you
honestly,
okay?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to stop in a minute. Is Anu still here? I don't know.
Anu?
She's
Yeah, Anu's right there.
okay.
Anu. Anu, can you hear us?
Hey, Hollis, I'm still here.
Okay.
I'm still here. Yes.
Good. Did you lose a husband or a father figure?
I lost a husband.
Okay, he's here. He's been here since I did Jackie's. They
Okay.
actually came in together. That we seem to be buddying up a lot. And he was very traditional, very traditional. I'm seeing, I don't know what they're called, and it's really cool. Do you know this? I only know the Navajo ones. The sand paintings that they do, like in India with the sand, they're really pretty. I don't know what they're called. The beautiful, where they take the sand, and they make the beautiful patterns and stuff.
A mandala.
Yes.
We call it rangoli.
Ramon, yes, that's what he's showing me. Very beautiful colors. I'm seeing orange, red, yellow. And he's actually putting the candles in with them too. Do you know what he's trying to?
Yeah. I
Oh, yeah.
used to make rangoli and put candles like the tea lights and everything for Diwali.
Okay.
Diwali is the festival of lights. It's a festival for Indians. And we used to celebrate it like really good, like putting lights all over the house, inside the house, and making wonderful like rangoli and all that.
Are you
And he used to love that festival because like we used to do the fireworks and everything too. So
okay. That's it validating you, but are you slacking doing that?
Yeah, I did not do it last year because it was not, we don't celebrate anything until after 1 year of the passing.
Okay.
And it was just a little over like 1 year of his passing recently, like today. So
there you go. That's what he's telling you. So he's telling you now you can return, right? I believe that's what he's trying to tell you, is that now the light, yeah, because he's actually showing me like now the light can return. Do you understand what he means by that?
Or maybe he's just telling me to be happy and live my life. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. But very traditional, like he showed me very traditional. He's thanking you for honoring him the way that you've honored him. He said he knows it hasn't been easy, but you treated him very honorably. Like all of his wishes were met and stuff, and he's thanking you for that. And he wants you to know how much he loves you, and that the death doesn't separate you. Cling to your beliefs. He wants you to make sure that you're clinging to your beliefs and know that this is just a moment in time that you're separate, but it's not going to last for very long. Okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
And
He was a wonderful husband.
Yeah, that's what, and he didn't never planned it this way. Because he doted on you.
Yeah. I mean, it was very sudden.
Yeah.
So
he's very sorry. But he's showing me like how much he loved you, like how much you really were his queen.
Yes.
Yeah,
he took care of me like that. Yep.
Yeah, that's what he's showing me, like very, very much so. So I could see that would be hard. Like, yeah, the absence. And he's showing, yeah. So he says, you're still his queen. You'll always be his queen. Okay. And
They say that I love him so much, you know, and we really miss him.
Yeah, he knows that. But that's why he showed me those he showed me those. And that'll help bring some of your beauty, but some of your smile, your happiness back.
Yeah, it was a festival he loved.
Okay.
It was one of his favorite festivals.
I love that for you. Good job.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, honey.
Thank you. Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. I'm going to go ahead and hop off because I'm pretty much tapped out energy-wise.
Okay, sure.
So thank you so much, everybody. Happy Mother's Day. And I hope you guys found
Happy Mother's Day. Thank you.
Take care, sweetheart. Bye-bye.
Okay. So the spirit that I have on hold here is it feels this person is definitely of indigenous, probably indigenous American, and it could be Canadian or Mexican. I would say, let's say indigenous North American. This continent. And it actually feels like I have a string of ancestors for a person, so you have roots in the indigenous line, okay? Actually have, wow, okay. Well, it feels like at least two pretty strong females feels like the reservation was involved or some sort of lower income living, where it wasn't exactly well, they're recognizing the generational wounds that come through the indigenous line. And so she's very much the two women, which feels like mother, grandmother, or grandmother, great grandmother, something like that. They both taught to the best of their ability, but there were some things that were blocked because of the wounds, and that's what their apology is. Because now I feel like you're starting to take back your culture, I guess is the best way to say it. To relearn your culture, and it feels like they couldn't teach as much as they would have wanted to because it was blocked from the indigenous culture. Okay. And then so along with them is also father, pretty sure it's father, grandfather, because it feels like they're holding the door. But there may have been some mixed blood here. So not everybody's indigenous, but they were tied to indigenous in the soul, meaning so sometimes white ancestry has karmic debt, and so some of these souls had some karmic debt to the indigenous souls. So it's for somebody in here. Somebody in here has indigenous roots. Let's see what else I can get about maybe the mothers. Okay. She's showing me things like all the things that you would think of like with indigenous roots, like the long hair that's sacred, the indigenous colors, the dances. It's like she's trying to she wants to honor the young people today that are bringing through the culture. So that's really what she wants me to say, and that's really what's most important. So what she's saying that okay. She's very one woman is very strong. She's very kind of like, this is me. And she's also saying that I think the person that's here might be a little on the shy side or might not know what to do. So what you're supposed to do is raise your hand or unmute yourself, and just speak up and say, hey, I think this might be me, but I know you have indigenous roots. I know that you're, and it's probably like, it feels like the Mexican. Go ahead, Kendalia. Kendalia.
I've
Do you have
never.
indigenous roots?
Yes, I do.
Okay. I can't see you really. You're all in shadow, but it's fine. So I wouldn't, it doesn't matter because sometimes indigenous roots don't come through in looks anyway.
I'm from the Navajo tribe.
Okay. So you're from Navajo, which is actually more like a little bit more north in the continent,
Okay.
right? I think. I'm not sure. I could be wrong. I'm asking you. No, it's for you, Kimberly. I'm pretty sure. Okay. So just hold on a second, because as soon as I see, she's also saying that you're kind of shy. Is that true? Yeah. Okay. Okay. She's also, yeah, because she's giving me the chills, so I'm pretty sure it's you. So that usually means yes for me. Did you have a mother and a grandmother, Kendalia, or grandmother, great grandmother, like that, like two that are gone like that are on the other side?
Yeah, and a father.
And a father. He's pretty strong. He's kind of protective. Okay. And the mother, grandmother, they were connected. They were strong. They had a good relationship or were close anyway. And Did they try to teach you tradition, Navajo ways? Mm-hmm. And did they, yeah, they're giving me major chills right now. Okay. So they're, wow. Okay. For some reason, they're helping me feel like tears. And I think that has to do with the wound. Okay. Like right now when I cry, because of are you on a reservation?
Yeah, I'm up north. I'm like 15 minutes from the Canada border.
Okay. So, and those are the tears of the lost land, the tears of the way the colonizers have colonized the indigenous people of this land, and that they have taken your land. And I'm just letting you know that that is a karmic debt that will be paid back to your people and to your tribe and to all of your ancestors. It will be made right. And it is being made right slowly but surely, but it will be, okay? And they also want to say that they're super proud of you. Are you starting to stand up? Do you have young people that are standing up, like Standing Rock? Because they're showing me Standing Rock. I was at Standing Rock, Candelia. Did you have somebody do that kind of movement? It doesn't have to be Standing Rock, but it could be some sort of movement that was involved in that. Do you know what I'm talking about? Do you have young people in that movement?
No, I wouldn't.
You
Not that I know of, but we're really traditional in learning like the dances and yeah.
Bringing back your tradition.
Mm-hmm.
And trying to protect the land. Yeah. That's really what Standing Rock was about. Okay. And so like they're feeling that strong energy from Standing Rock, which was a lot of Navajo were there. That's a very intense ceremonies. And I could feel the mother energies there. The mother energy was so intense. I can't express it right now. Like I'm almost in tears right now. Okay. So Candelia, and it's for the earth and for the wrong that was done to your people. And I weep for your people because it was some of my ancestors that did that shit. And if I could go back and stop those ancestors from doing it, I would have. But I can't. But I can do my best to make it right today. And that's why I was at Standing Rock. And that's why I'm supporting you right now. And I'm letting you know that your mother and your grandmother and your father are with you, absolutely with you. They love you and they are at your side, and that it will be made right. Your children and your grandchildren and 7 generations forwards and backwards will be healed. It will be made right. Because there are people not just like me. I'm not the only one that feels the karmic debt that the white people owe to the indigenous people. It is not right. But own your culture, take it back with full power. And anytime you can contact me and I will help you, just like I do with every other indigenous person that I know. Okay? Anytime you can contact me and you just message me and I'll help you in any way. Okay?
I would like to speak to her as well.
Candelia?
Yes, Candelia. I'm sorry, I can't see worth beans. When you were talking about someone standing up for their people, I saw activists like marching, hands up, I also saw the girls with the hands across their face. Is there someone in your family that's very politically motivated for your people like a sister or an aunt, or um it's like if they're not involved yet, they are planning on being. It's going to touch your home very seriously, and don't be afraid of that. That's what I was getting, that your ancestors were going, stand up for your people. Now is the time. That there is going to be political ballots coming up that have to deal with how people are treated on the reservation. Um, you know, the reservations in this country are considered third world compared to even the poorest standards, like in Alabama and places like that. The Native American people are living even below that, without water, without electricity, all these things. And my grandmother's coming through for me. She was Chickasaw, and she's telling me, move forward, my daughter. Stand up, my daughter. That's what she's your family's speaking to her, and she's telling me. So I just wanted to add that on.
Thanks, Karen.
Thank you,
No
Karen.
problem.
Just know, Candelia, that psychics, us sensitive people, we recognize the wrongdoing. There's a reason why, like, sometimes when I listen to like some indigenous rap and stuff like that, they yell out to us too. Not just to their people, but to our tribal people, to the people like in the larger tribe. Like in that song Stand Up. And so I was I just get very moved and sad that we live in this country, and this land is forever scarred with that, with the death of the indigenous people, the murders of the indigenous people, and the stealing of their land. So.
Yeah,
because I'm going to school for my bachelor's for early childhood education, and these past few weeks have been very emotional and touching, because I've been not learning, but it backtracks to generational trauma. And literally, I would sit there and write my papers, and I would cry in silence. And then I turn in my work, and then at the bottom, my teacher would she'll leave a comment space open, and I'm like, oh, that was really hard. I cried while I wrote my paper. So, and she was just telling me that she warns us about the assignments that will be coming up. So I think that's where you were talking about the Standing Rock, and that's where my daughter's going to be doing they call it the salmon ceremony here up on the Lummi Reservation, and she's going to be talking in front of the whole school on Thursday. And this is her second year doing it. So I really tell her, stand up, go up there, be who you are. Don't be ashamed. Do it like this, say it like this. This is how you were taught. This is how I was taught, So I'm and then she does both of them. I did it in my culture. She's doing it now in her dad's culture. So she's very, very intertwined, and it's very inspiring, and just being around the drums and the music is very powerful within itself.
It is, and it's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that, Candelia. Because it's just the younger generation on the reservations. They give me hope. So that's what I'm gonna say about that, is that when I went to Standing Rock, I felt this little glimmer of hope, even though I cried for 4 days. I was there for forgiving. I know you know what that is. I was there for the day of forgiving, and couldn't stop crying. For 4 days I cried. Boy, I had a headache. So, and I'm pretty sure that I was crying for the earth and all the mothers and all the women of the land. And I was part of Two Spirit Camp, with Candy Brings Plenty, and I just couldn't even barely get out of my space because I just kept weeping and weeping and weeping. It was really, but there's a few things that I learned there, and I never ever want to use or take your culture. And in fact, even though I was a pipe holder, I gave my pipe back. I don't carry a pipe hole. I don't carry a pipe anymore. Neither do I identify as any indigenous because clearly I'm white and I wasn't raised on a reservation. And I hope that more white people recognize my stance and recognize that I'm holding the indigenous people up without taking their culture, and the two can be done at the same time. So I stand by you, Kenlia, and you can always know that I'm your ally. So so I even know some people that might be able to help if anyone wants to do activism like Candy Brings Plenty. Okay. So okay, looks like we're drawing to a close. Stacy, did you have anything else you want to share?
No, I want to thank everybody for coming, and I'm glad that we were able to do this. I felt that it was very important, and I appreciate all of you. And Hollis and Karen, great messages, great reading. So nice to be able to be part of this with you and to be able to watch you work. And it's magic and healing, and I just appreciate everybody. So thank you. Yes, and I'm sorry if we didn't get to everybody. We try our best. We do to get to as many people as we can. And
we did. We got to most. Yep. Spirit really dictates who's getting the reading anyway. So, so.
And I know that we're all available for private readings if anybody wants to book.
Yeah, I'll put that in the chat again. I've put it in the chat a couple times now. There we go. So you can get the link to who anybody's reading if you want a private reading with them. Of course, you can find me easily because I'm the admin of the group, the mediums group. Just go to the top and look for me there. If you want to find like message Stacy or Cheryl, you can just go to the approved readers list and they'll be in there, and then you can easily find them and be like, oh, there they are, and just message them. Okay, it'll be an easier way to find them than trying to type in their name. I don't know if you've ever tried to do that, but you'll be like, I didn't know there was so many Stacy Brickel.
Don't forget me either.
Or Karen. Sorry, yeah, Karen. Sorry, and Karen too. Karen should also be listed as a mod, so as a moderator. So okay. All right, my friends.
Good night, everybody. Thank
I appreciate you. I give you big love. Happy Mother's Day. And may you enjoy the rest of your evening. Okay?
Thank you.
All right.
All right. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.